From the Nou Camp Stadium, Manchester United take on Barcelona in the Champions League.
This program is sponsored by Reebok and Amstel, UEFA Champions League sponsors.
I mean, what more can a football really want to get to a stage in the European Champions Cup, 120,000 people. Both teams are going to try and win the match. That's great for European football. It's great for the game itself. And I just hope that our players can live up to it. This is a great opportunity for them to show that British football is on the way back.
The stage is set for a magical night of European football. The Nou Camp Stadium is full, and that means 120,000 of the world's most passionate fans. They're ready for another confrontation between two of football's greatest clubs. Hello, good evening. It's Barcelona against Manchester United Part 2, and those of you who were lucky enough to see the first game a couple of weeks ago, some 11 million of you will appreciate what a great occasion this should be. It's an amazing atmosphere, as you can hear. This man knows all about it. He was here for 3 years. Terry Venables, 3 years as manager here. The atmosphere remains.
Every week I came into this stadium, I never failed to get goosebumps, and tonight is no exception. I feel very excited about the game tonight and really looking forward to it.
And you think United have a good chance?
I think they're going to find it tough, but I see that Alex is really going to go with his front guns. I think he feels Barcelona's weak areas at the back, so that's what he's going for.
Well, like 2 weeks ago, we have a surprise team selection. Let's have a look at it right now. 2 weeks ago, of course, it was Parker for Bruce. Now this time, Alex has left out his Danish goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel. He's out, and in comes Gary Walsh. A really big test for him. It's another big decision. Alex Ferguson tells us why.
I want to put our 10 best players out in the outfield against Barcelona in a situation like tonight. Not as a test, but as a challenge. It's a challenge to them to say, well, we want these great nights in Europe. Are you good enough to go and play them in their terms, on their own patch, and do the business really? So with that in mind, I really am forced to play my 5 foreign players in outfield positions.
Well, it's another brave decision. How do you look at that one, Terry?
Just as I was saying there, I think he feels Barcelona's weak area is defensively. So he wants to get his big guns, his shooting power in the team. And it also says he must have a great respect for Gary Walsh too.
Yeah, he's no innocent, is he?
No, he's not. He's got experience, and he's unfortunate because behind a goalkeeper like Schmeichel, who is one of the outstanding goalkeepers.
There's also surprise from Johan Cruyff. He's playing Jordi Cruyff.
Yes, well, Begaristain, who normally plays in that position, has not been playing as well as he can, and it's a good chance for his son to get a visit to the ground.
No Hadji in the side, amazing really, isn't it?
Well, he can play 3 foreigners, and we've seen in the World Cup, Hadji is one of the great players in the world, and he can't get in the team. It says a lot for his team, doesn't it?
It was a wonderful, wonderful game 2 weeks ago. Do you see it being just as good?
I'm absolutely sure. I'm absolutely sure we're in for a treat tonight, and I think that we can sit back and let it all happen.
teams are on their way, as you can see. So here we go in this nerve-wracking, inspirational atmosphere. What a test for the United lads. It's a test which is going to be described for us tonight by the Aston Villa manager, Ron Atkinson, and our match commentator, Brian Moore.
Thank you, Bob. Well, you can see the Barcelona team there. Again, their formation dominated in the areas around the defence by the Dutchman Koeman. Bakero will be full of guile in their midfield. And we believe young Cruyff will play down the left with Stoichkov on the right. Well, Manchester United, we've heard about Gary Walsh, the 26-year-old understudy in goal for United. Alex Ferguson wanted to keep his outfield strong. Hamstrung, of course, by that restriction on foreign players. Important night for Mark Hughes, of course, playing here for the first time since his disappointing period with Barcelona in the mid-80s. Ryan Giggs, who missed the last game through injury, wears number 11. So the back four is undisturbed. David May suspended, remember. There'll be 5 in the midfield, but Alex Ferguson will be looking for support for Hughes from all of them. Substitutes, 5 youngsters, in fact, in the Manchester United subs bench. Here are the Barcelona substitutes. Plenty of experience there. The Guristan, of course, Ivan also, Sanchez Yara, who started the game in Old Trafford, and for Manchester, as I said, 5 youngsters really in the early stages of learning their trade, but certainly rich in promise. It's a beautiful evening here. It's going to be handled by a 43-year-old Frenchman, Yo Kinu. And Manchester United, as you can see in their black strip tonight, Steve Bruce, the captain. Bakero, the captain of Barcelona, who scored the second goal, of course, on that unforgettable night at Old Trafford. Just to remind you that there are 4 in this group. And Manchester United and Gothenburg each with 4 points, Barcelona with 3, Galatasaray of Turkey with 1. In fact, Galatasaray and Gothenburg meeting tonight in Istanbul. Well, there's Gary Walsh. What a tremendous night for him, the 26-year-old. He's had terrible troubles through his career with injuries. He's now got the biggest night of his life. And I'm sure all Manchester United fans and all British soccer fans everywhere will hope that he has one of those nights. He certainly deserves it. It's coming up to 8:30 here. It's been a beautiful day all day in Barcelona, really warm, a perfect pitch, a wonderful arena. The sort of nights that all players work for. There's someone who are missing, is Eric Cantona, but of course this is the last match of his suspension. Peter Schmeichel. Well, what are you doing to me, boss? He said to Alex Ferguson this morning when Alex told him. Well, but he took it really well, apparently, according to the Manchester United manager. Mark Hughes there, Brian Kidd, and Alex as well. Well, it's a big night for everybody. As I say, they are the nights that all players work for, all managers dream of, all fans save up for. And I can tell you, everybody in the media just happy to be here. Really happy messengers on a night like tonight. $120,000 in the most amazing stadium of all. A stadium, in fact, that has its own chapel, it has its own bank, and it has its own Ronald Koeman. Now, he's the one they'll certainly have to watch. Here's Owen and Pallister and Parker. So the back four all getting a touch early on. Bruce playing it up to Hughes, alone up there in front. Abelardo was watching him. Alex Ferguson saying, well, it's the sort of night that will tell me if I have a team of true champions or a team of shrinking violets. Let's hope for his sake and for British football's sake, it's a team of champions. This is Guardiola. To Ferrer, who missed the game at Old Trafford because of injury. He's a Spanish international fullback. Koeman pushing forward. Little Romario. Well challenged there by Nicky Butt, did well. An unfair challenge though on Mark Hughes. And a yellow card straight away. And a free kick to Manchester United. A yellow card for Ronald Koeman. Well, if United are pushing forward, Ron Atkinson now, Koeman, to get a yellow card this early, just has to watch his step now for the next, 88 minutes or so.
Yeah, well, that is the biggest problem about his game. I mean, he's a lovely passer, dominates the game when he's on the ball, but for me, he's a very, very poor defender. And I think United will do their best to try and exploit that. I think you'll find Keane and Butt, as soon as he gets possession, they'll try and get round his feet and not let him set up those passing moves that he did so well, particularly in the second half at Old Trafford.
Here's Stoichkov a long way back. Romario away on this side. Oh my goodness. That was a thundering challenge there by Mark Hughes, already carrying a yellow card from the last game.
I think Mark's a little bit lucky there, Brian.
Well, I think he's extremely lucky, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit needless as well, but I mean, I suppose when you sense the atmosphere here, I don't think I've ever heard anything so deafening. You know, I suppose players are overwhelmed up, if you like.
Here's Giggs. The bounce almost beat Amor, but it's now sending Baquero forward. Stoichkov on this right-hand side. He wanted to hold on to it a little bit. Giggs couldn't quite dispossess him. Ince has had a go and has succeeded. Finds Nicky Butt. Here's Ryan Giggs. Finds Hughes. And here's Cruyff. In goes Keane.
It's the interesting thing at the moment for me is that Andrei Kanchelskis hasn't received the pass. I would believe that Alex Ferguson's been saying to the players, give him as much of the ball as you can, because, you know, he'll run the left full-back Sergei Dapta, I think.
Here's Romario, and now Baquero. In goes Giggs. And now here's Ferrer. He's a good attacking full-back. And nicked a nice little ball in there towards Amor. Steve Bruce, who got the challenge in, but only knocked it out as far as number 3 Guardiola.
That really was a wild attempt from Guardiola, wasn't it? I mean, that's at this stage of the game, a little bit excited. He's had a lot more time on that than he's considered. And I mean, that once again could be nerves, the early tension, but really you think a player of his quality, and he has got good quality, would have shown a lot more composure.
Ferguson looking in the direction of Gary Walsh. You had him at Manchester United when you were manager there. Just give us an idea of his personality, Ron.
I tell you what, very phlegmatic character, extremely unlucky with his career with injuries. At one time, he was as good a keeper as I've ever seen on crosses. As a kid, he was phenomenal at taking crosses. And, you know, they had high hopes for him at United until he had a succession of injuries and illnesses.
Yeah, he got a serious head injury, and then he had a bad ankle injury that kept him out of the game for a year. He's still got a pin in that ankle. And then he had a serious knee ligament injury. I mean, if anybody deserves a good break, it's Gary Walsh.
And I think he'd get a nice break, you know, if he got 1 or 2 nice balls to feel early on, you know, 1 or 2
That's
shots,
right.
comfortable shots for him.
Guardiola playing it to Romario. Here's Cruyff on the far side. Jordi Cruyff knocking it in just over the head of Romario, but not a lot to spare there for Manchester United. There's Pallister, did well. Baquero picking up everything in midfield. He is such an influence. We talk a lot about Koeman and so, but Abelardo, just that little bit further forward, has so much to say. Owen just stabs that one away. Nicky Butt. Free kick to Manchester United. Gary Walsh with the kick. Finds Mark Hughes. Koeman covering quickly.
Yeah, that's where Abelardo's got the extra responsibility today, Brian, because with the strongman on the side and Nadella, let's just see what Giggs makes of this.
So here's Giggs. Missed the first game because of injury. Little touch there. Ince driving one in. What a powerhouse player he's been for Manchester United in Europe. Anybody who remembers the second goal that they scored a couple of weeks ago? There's Johan Cruyff. A couple of weeks ago they scored with a lollipop in his hand. You'll notice Johan Cruyff.
Well, I think I've seen everything now. I know when Johan Cruyff has to start taking lollipops.
Yeah, it's a cigarette substitute, actually. He had as you remember, you probably know, obviously, Ron, he had a heart attack a year or two back. He was a very heavy smoker. Now he does anti-smoking campaigns on television, and his cigarette substitute is the lollipop. Here's Ryan Giggs. Oh, there's a good break by Nicky Butt too. And Kanchelskis in a lot of space on the far side. Hughes had saw him try to get in there and get the ball across. Kanchelskis had oceans of space. And now instead it's Romario finding Baquero. Played for Romario. Stoichkov is offside.
They're constantly looking for that in the early stages, Barcelona. Stoichkov operating and Romario in fairly wide areas. Stoichkov likes to try and dive in on the back of Irwin, and they like to try and thread the ball through there.
Here's Irwin. Ryan Giggs. Irwin. Guardiola. Baquero. Irwin again.
I tell you what, Andriy Kanchelskis is getting really frustrated. You said there about when young Butt didn't get his spotter's badge out and see him in acres of space. He started to try to creep into midfield at the moment. He didn't really search for the ball. He's still not had a touch of the ball.
Abelardo finding Jordi Cruyff. Here's Pereira.
Because we've said about Nadal not playing as the strong man of the side, and Abelardo's got to do his job. That's a big plus for them. The number 2 Ferrer coming back, one of the best fullbacks in the World Cup, I think.
Cruyff. Played the ball in. Romario's in there. Walsh only half stopped him. Baquero's in there. Ince knocked it away. Croft plays it in again, and it's gone in. And Stoichkov has put Barcelona ahead. A terrible blow for Manchester United with 8 minutes gone. The place erupts now. Cruyff arguing with an official there. I think he's been upset with 1 or 2 of the refereeing decisions. But suddenly, Cruyff plays a wonderful ball in here. Romario gets in behind them. Walsh can't stop him. It looked for a moment as though United had saved themselves, because Ince makes a terrific clearance there. But it only goes again to Cruyff, knocks it across to Stoichkov, and there's a deflection there. It possibly came off Steve Bruce, but Stoichkov, I'm sure, will claim it.
Well, what about composure here from Romario? He's made a great run inside the defence, and he's picked a pass out. United, as you said, have managed to clear it twice. And fortunately, it's fell to Stoichkov's left foot, which is his favourite foot. Desperately unlucky there for United at the end, but you know they've had to pay the penalty for perhaps just sleeping in a little bit as Romario made the initial run. I mean, that's what they've got to watch. I mean, full marks to Jordi Cruyff. I didn't think.
Yeah, the pass from Cruyff was the killer, wasn't it? Really?
I didn't think he did a tap when he came on a sub at Old Trafford, but certainly then he's cutting off the right wing and threaded that little ball in behind the back line of the United. I think there might have been a slight hesitation between Steve Bruce and, I don't know whether possibly he felt Gary Walsh could have come for it. I think there'd be a high expectancy that if he did.
Amor. Now it really does become a tough night for United. Guardiola again. There's Abelardo making the break. Jordi Cruyff again. This time United are equal to it. Nicky Butt. Don't get caught in possession there. Bruce stabbing it clear, finding Kanchelskis, almost the first touch he's had. Paul Parker. Bruce again getting it forward, but Butt won't get hold of that one.
The boxing them right in at the moment. This is Barcelona at the best, Brian. Popping the ball about 1 or 2 touch. Everybody taking up fresh positions and also staying right on top of the United side.
Baquero.
At the moment, the United lads have just got to hang on in there, because at the moment they just cannot get out of their own half of the field.
Good play by Parker.
This is what they're looking for.
Away goes Kanchelskis.
They want him to carry the fight now, Brian.
Oh, that was a silly back pass. That was a silly back pass by Kanchelskis. And here's Romario again. He's going to get Amor in, and it was Ince who got it away, but at the expense of a corner, and all started with that quite reckless and stupid back pass, back flick.
Here we get a look at a goal again. He's got two touches, he's got two contributions here. Cruyff makes the initial pass and then makes the final pass that puts Stoichkov in.
Might just have nicked it off Gary Pallister, in fact. You tell Stoichkov that, though. Stoichkov with the corner. Riggs read that well. He's down the line there, but Guardiola's there, holding off Ryan Giggs. It's Koeman. That's out of play.
I think we might see that from Barcelona. It's noticeable then as soon as Kanchelskis received that ball, that his first move, they try to push him inside. They're obviously the chasing Igate Sergi that Old Trafford sticks in their mind.
But, oh, that was a lazy ball by Keane as well. Stoichkov, Guardiola, here's that little man Romario from Brazil, and Pallister there. Oh, he's in trouble.
But all he sees, like the
Bruce beaten in the air by Romario.
Barcelona team keep pressing in that midfield and not giving United any sort of time or space to set up and control the pace of the game. At the moment, it's, well, obviously with the goal, it's a big plus for them, but at the moment Barcelona are absolutely dictating the pace and the flow of the game.
The great thing about Barcelona in Old Trafford, when United were all over them, gave them time not to think or breathe in the first 20 minutes, they never panicked, and really United have got to do the same here now. They've got to stay composed, not panic. It's a setback, but it's not yet impossible.
Yeah, because they know if they can do that, they've got good enough players to get their time in the game.
That's right.
But what they mustn't do, they mustn't go to two.
No, they mustn't go to two. Here's Cruyff. Beccaro. Amor. No foul. The histrionics there of Stoichkov made no impression whatsoever on the French referee. Pallister getting this one away. Keane knocking it down for Irwin. It really is a night when you want Kanchelskis and Giggs to be firing on all cylinders. Down those flanks. There's a good break by Butt. The flag has stayed down. Giggs is waiting in the middle for it. And it's a corner for Manchester United. It was a great run from midfield there by Nicky Butt, who's played in all of United's European games this season, growing up really quickly.
Well, that's his great strength, isn't it? He's good at that. I've seen him from a kid when he was a junior player to the reserve team and to this level, and he's at his best when he's breaking from midfield, running beyond the opposite defence.
Giggs with the corner. Pallister and Bruce both on the edge of the Barcelona penalty area. Towards the near post, and easy for Ferrer. The ball may just have dipped out of play, I think, Ron, didn't it?
That's right. I mean, that's criminal for Ryan Giggs to do that, because when you look, they're under the cosh. They've got a chance of a little respite. They've got big players there: Bruce, Pallister, Keane, Sparky Hughes. I wish they had that fella, I'll bet.
Schmeichel and Cantona there.
I mean, the lad in the cap, he is the player. You know, and they've wasted a chance to try and give themselves some sort of an opportunity to get back in the game.
Here's Koeman. Here's Ince. Here's Butt. That's a foul. That's a free kick. Foul by Beccaro. Bruce taking it. The ball was moving, actually, but it's put Keane in space, and Kanchelskis galloping down that flank. Won a good cross, didn't really get it. Hughes might get on the end of it. Koeman is getting it away. Hughes is running around like a dervish there. I just hope that he controls himself a little bit. Keane does well. Parker. But They let that go behind for the goal kick. Let's have a quick word with Terry Venables. Terry, you said it was going to be a tough night. It's even tougher now.
Well, they've got a great problem here with Romario, who's standing between centre-halves, and they're occasionally leaving him for each other, and he's getting in behind them, and that's exactly what he did for the goal. And a great ball from Cruyff. The other thing is, Vaquero must be got hold of. As yet, he's running the roost at the moment, I think. He's got it again now, and he really makes them tick.
Thank you, Terry. Watch Romario between the centre-backs then, and watch Vaquero. This is Amor. Came off Ince. Gary Walsh just sidestepping it, knocking it out to Bruce, getting it back again. Guardiola. It's Romario. It's lying that little bit deep.
That's what he's going to do. He's not going to let one of the big guys pick him up. Not going to let Pallister or Bruce pick him up wide. If they mark him, he's going to start. Now, this is where they can exploit the situation.
Here's Keane. Butts in the middle. Hughes is in the middle. Here's Ince. Sergi holding up Kanchelskis. Played in towards Hughes. Being challenged by Abelardo. Ince playing it in. Giggs was over there. Looking to get it on the left foot. Finds Dennis Irwin. The flag is up. The flag is up.
It must be fair, Brian. I'd have to see that again. My gut feeling was that Dennis Irwin was in a decent position. I didn't think he was offside.
No, I thought that was a real hairline one. Well, I mean, there might be somebody on the far side.
I would say the left back is definitely in line with him, or the fellow on the left-hand side. But what we've seen, even in these little moments when United have managed to build up some play, there does look holes in their defence. You know, I have to say they play a lovely, exciting, fluent way. But you do look as if you get at the back people when you put something together yourself.
But here's Romario. Oh, he's played it towards Amor. Good play by Gary Walsh. Good anticipation there, and he'll feel a lot better for that.
Yeah, I mean, the two big lads at the back of United, both Bruce and Pallister, like to hold their positions. I know it's difficult because it's foreign to them, but I think maybe somebody's got to go in with, one of them's got to go in with Romario when he goes into that little area, because he'll just pick it up at the back of United's midfield and run at them, play those little threaded balls, or play 1-2s, or even, as we've seen in the World Cup, capable of dribbling to. That's what I think he's got to do, not wrestle him, but go in and press him.
Well, Bruce made the most of that small error by Romario. There's a good little bit of play by Kanchelskis. Here's Nicky Butt, and here's Mark Hughes. Can he get something on the turn here? It's charged away, and
referees give a decision for Mark Hughes tugging.
Foul against Mark Hughes.
And that's an example of what I'm on about, Brian. If Romario drops off deep on the line of the ball, go in, Brucey, go in and nail him if you have to.
He did that to perfection. There's Hughes. There was a foul. The whistle had already gone. And here come Barcelona again with Ronald Koeman. Up to Guardiola. Played wide for Stoichkov, scorer of the goal that gives Barcelona the 1-0 lead. Back to Stoichkov again, this time from Amor. And that's Walsh's ball.
That's a nice feel for him, isn't it? Got a nice comfortable feel on that. Must say, it's got to stress it, Brian. I wouldn't think there's any blame whatsoever attached to the young goalkeeper on the Stoichkov's goal. It may very well be that Steve Bruce is accustomed to Schmeichel flying out when anything gets knocked through them, but all credit to Cruyff for the first ball.
Yes, that's really what undid them. Here's Abelardo on his first season at Barcelona. Guardiola. Vaquero. Spreading it wide. Ferrer. Played in all of Spain's games, did Ferrer in the '94 World Cup. There he is. Getting it again. Vaquero. Koeman. Koeman hitting that long ball again, absolutely inch perfect. Just with a little bit of pace. But the United players were saying last night that they were absolutely amazed at the accuracy of Koeman's passing. The way the ball just floated over defenders' heads, always just perfect for the man running onto it.
Yeah, he was certainly superb in the game at Old Trafford in terms of his passing. You know, and what's very difficult at the moment, because the way they play the little triangle passes and so forth, it's difficult for the United lads, who would dearly love, I'm sure, to not give him that time and space, but to pressurise him there. You see, you've always got options, little passing options.
Abelardo, Ferrer, Stoichkov, just flicking it forward almost arrogantly, and Ferrer getting in behind United's defence again. Pallister only half getting it away, supported there by Butt. Hughes coming back. Berwin. And a throw to Barcelona. Back to Busquets. It's with Guardiola. Romario up ahead of him. Baquero's gone well forward. It's with Koeman.
So I think in this situation it's very, very difficult for Man U to press the ball. I think they've just got to drop off maybe to the halfway line, stay tight in numbers, and then when they do start putting passes, and that's a superb...
There's a great ball by Koeman to Jordi Cruyff. Now that was inch perfect. Plays the ball in. Bruce standing up big and strong, gets it away for Manchester United. Kanchelskis. Ince. Giggs. Playing much more through the middle, actually, Giggs, rather than down the left-hand flank, but he's found Kanchelskis, who couldn't keep it in play.
I must admit, looking at Cruyff's son, Jordi Cruyff, I thought at first, it was a luxury putting him in after what I've seen at Old Trafford. He's playing that left-hand side. The first reaction is he going to try and help Sergi deal with Kanchelskis? That's not that apparent. But what he is doing, Brian, every time he receives the ball, he drives inside of Parker. I know he would have no chance of running Parker on the outside. Drives inside and looks to slot the type of ball through that created the goal. I think Paul Parker somehow or other, when he goes 1v1 against him, he's got to try and angle him and make him go outside.
Baquero. Here's Cruyff again. Knocks it back this time to Sergi. Amor. Romario. Faced by Pallister. He's gone past Pallister. He's gone past Bruce and then ran straight into Paul Parker.
Yeah, he was looking for that, but I mean, there's not many defenders can pick not many strikers can pick
Pallister off
with that. I mean, that was effortless.
I mean, he put his foot down and had gone.
Yeah. I think that the sudden acceleration surprised Pallister, because Pallister's quick. But it's certainly in possession. It's an electric spell, isn't it, for the Spanish side?
Owen gets it clear. Dennis Irwin celebrated his 29th birthday just a couple of days ago. Abelardo gets it back. Mark Hughes, in fact, celebrated his 31st birthday yesterday. Ferrer. Up to Romario. Trying to get Baquero in this time. Well intercepted by Pallister, but at some cost because Pallister's gone down.
I think at times as well we've seen the possible inexperience of young Butt, and to a certain extent Roy Keane, who this is a learning process for him. But very often when the Barcelona team start popping about in midfield, one of their midfield players, normally Baquero, runs off the back of the United midfield and doesn't get tracked.
They're the United subs. I mean, they're all youngsters. They look straight out of the grammar school almost, but they're learning quickly at Old Trafford, that's for sure. Names at the moment might not mean a lot to you. Pilkington, Neville, Beckham, Davis and Scholes. Alex Ferguson believes they will. Walsh called for that. Hughes. Still Mark Hughes. But a bit of space now for Parker. Gets it forward again to Hughes, who has to cover some ground there. He gets Kanchelskis inside Sergi there. Oh, and it wouldn't quite fall for Giggs.
See, that's why it's all important, Brian, that United try and keep it to 1-0, because there's got to be chances for them, no danger against this defence. But it's whether they can hold the other lot out, you know, the top half of the field, because they are something special when they start playing.
Vaquero, Guardiola, Vaquero, Cruyff. Guardiola. Hughes is attacking him.
See, there's little they can do about this. They might just well let them have it at the back and seal up all the spaces.
Foul by Irwin on Stoichkov. Irwin felt the Bulgarian was playing the old soldier a bit there.
Oh, well, he's cute, isn't he, Stoichkov? Plus the fact playing on the right wing or on the right-hand side, he'll turn in field, and that automatically makes it difficult to put a challenge on him.
Now they know all about Koeman, as probably you do at home. His free kicks for Holland and for Barcelona. Phenomenal scoring record. Alec Ferguson was saying this morning it's something like a 1 in 4 success ratio for his free kicks taken outside the penalty area. Back in 1991 in the European Cup Winners' Cup final against Manchester United, which United won gloriously. The only goal came from a Koeman free kick, but I'm just wondering whether Stoichkov with his left boot might have a little crack at this one. No, it's Koeman. It's curled, and it was no trouble there for Gary Walsh.
Well, I wouldn't
you thought as I thought.
I wouldn't have bet against you, Brian, there, but I got a feeling that Koeman's got it in his contract. I think anything within 40 yards is his territory. He's tried to reverse one, hasn't he? Trying to catch the keeper coming in behind the wall.
Going Cruyff, lollipop and all. Well, he says that's better than a cigarette. Alec Ferguson with maybe a little more to worry about.
It's not quite how you associate Johan Cruyff, is it? A lollipop.
It's quite a Cruyff family affair here. Johan, the manager, Jordi, the player, and on the bench, Cruyff's son-in-law, the reserve goalkeeper, Anghoy, married Cruyff's daughter Chantel. There's a very good one. Throw to Barcelona. Barcelona win this, of course they go ahead of Manchester United in this particular league. Top two from the 4 nations, or 4 clubs rather, in this league go into the quarter-finals. So important from Manchester United's point of view that they also look to see what's happening in Istanbul tonight between Galatasaray and Gothenburg. They'll be hoping that Galatasaray can win that and hold up for Gothenburg. Here's Vaquero. They've got to hold up Barcelona now, though. Guardiola. Giggs couldn't cut it out. Ferrer couldn't keep it in play. It'll be a throw to Manchester United. Owen. Stoichkov after him. Giggs, Hughes getting in the muddle there a little bit. Not much space. Throw given Barcelona's way. Owen thought it was... Dennis Irwin thought it was a United throw, but referee and linesman, both from France, said no, Barcelona.
I think the very reasons the way Romario's playing at the moment, that little dropping off and not letting anybody mark him, just playing off the back of United's midfield, is probably the reason why, you know, Alex selected Paul Parker to play in the opening game. Because it's a very, very difficult position to mark.
Good play by Pallister, good interception, but Vaquero picks it up. Vaquero again. Romario stopped the game by Pallister. Sergi coming in. The header finds Jordi Cruyff. Vaquero. Amor. And now Ferrer. Guardiola. Ooh, Romario. He stood off Romario for a moment, and more chasing in. Owen gets it away. Just for a moment, it looked to me, I mean, they were giving Romario much too much space on the edge of their own penalty area one.
Yes, well, he's cute, but I think the problem Gary Pallister had, I think Gary Pallister was terrified of probably knocking him down, because you've only got to touch Romario and you know he'll go down anyway, and it's, you know, in the danger zone just on the edge of the box. I just wonder whether there's somewhere or other whether Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister might just try and squeeze a little bit from the back and
push forward a bit.
Yeah, try and condense that space a little bit. It's difficult to out and out man to mark, but if they try and shut the space down a little bit, whether that would help them.
Guardiola finding Koeman. Stories that he's going to retire at the end of this season. Koeman.
The way he swears he could play till he was about 60 feet the way he played.
Ferrer. Down the line again, Amor. Pallister. Now Paul Ince. Hughes buffeted from behind, but he's a strong man. He kept possession. He finds Roy Ince, another strong man. Well, Kanchelskis is quick, but not that quick. Ball back with Busquets. Played his first game for Barcelona against Manchester United in that Cup Winners' Cup final of '91. Actually, he was very heavily criticised after that when United won it, but he survived. He's now first choice here. Koeman. Keane. Slightly wrong-footed they were there by the challenge of Paul Ince. Hughes again. Gary Pallister. Ince. United playing it around a bit. Bit of composure here. Pallister trying to get it forward again to Hughes. Barcelona back in strength. Koeman in possession. And Amor. Stoichkov. Trying to thread that through to Romario, who's his best mate on the Barcelona side, but United defenders got well in the way of that one. Up goes Hughes, beaten by Abelardo. Nicky Butt finding Ryan Giggs. Looking for Ince to come up and help. Ince finds Hughes. Gets it back again towards Ince, but I think little Ferrer will just shepherd that one over the goal line for the goal kick to Barcelona.
I'm a little bit surprised the way United have defended in the wide positions, Parker and Dennis Irwin, because on this side Stoichkov's a left-footed player that likes to go inside. Cruyff on the other side is a right-footed player likes to come inside, and yet both full-backs are sort of showing them infield. Now normally you do that when you're playing against, say, as a right full-back against a natural left-sided player. You push them onto their weak side.
Interception there by Bruce. A little touch for Butt. Further on for Hughes, and now for Giggs, down this left flank, taking on Ferrer. Tried to whip in the cross and wins a corner. Now he missed the first game, did Ryan Giggs, through injury and ankle. And I can tell you the night before that first game, the Spaniards were asking questions about Giggs. What does he do? What does he do? How good is he? How quick is he? And so on. They were worried about him, and they were hugely relieved when he didn't play. Here's Giggs with a corner. Floated in. They made a mess of that. And Busquets gets down. I think a flag was up for an offside, probably against Paul Ince, who was right in the 6-yard area. It's the corner. They made a mess of that, did Barcelona in defence. Pallister was in there.
I think Giggs has got to put a little bit more on the ball, you know, standing up further. He's had two corners and he's dropped them in a little bit short. We've got Pallister and Big Bruce who just waiting. They thrive on the balls that, if you like, overhit.
Stoichkov.
And I've got to say this about the goalkeeper. I'm not too sure about him on set plays. Yeah. I'm not too sure about him when the ball's flying about in the air. didn't look convincing at Old Trafford.
Stoichkov. Competition again for you at half-time. Your chance to win a VIP trip to a European match of your chance. That comes up at half-time with Bob, so I'm sure you get on the end of that one. Bruce. Hughes. Referee claimed a handball there by Mark Hughes.
It's a pity that, you know, because he got a great position on Koeman from the long ball. He stood his ground well. He takes this great. You know, I think there's a little bit of pushing from Koeman there, actually.
Here's Abelardo. Gone with Koeman. Challenging Amor. They get it up to Romario. Knocked back to Guardiola. And now to Jordi Cruyff. It's a cross that's too deep. It comes for Dennis Irwin. Knocked it back confidently and comfortably to Gary Walsh. That's a great throw by Walsh. Just clearing the head of Koeman. Falling for Hughes. Picking out Kanchelskis now on the far side, but he can't quite keep it in play.
That ball does pick up some pace, didn't it? It's twice you'd have fancied Kanchelskis. It's just zipped away from him.
There's Cruyff again. It's the Barcelona bench. Abelardo. Cut out again by Pallister. Can Hughes get to this one? Yes, he can. Taken nicely on that chest of his. And slips a good ball to Nicky Butt, played back to Paul Ince. It slipped off his foot, and Parker did well against Cruyff. Vaquero. Stoichkov.
So he's showing him inside there, Brian, and that opens up everything for him.
Finds Amor, number 7, Stoichkov. Towards Cruyff on the far side, nodded down by him. Vaquero was in there again. Good anticipation by Gary Walsh.
That's something he's picked up, Peter Schmeichel, with that throw.
Ince finding Keane, finding Irwin. Roy Keane. Ince getting it back to Walsh, and none too happy with the challenge he got from Amor. And neither was the referee, because he's given United a free kick. And Vaquero having words with Ince now. And Amor tries to make it.
As I imagine anything to his Vaquero, threatening to slit his throat.
Amor. Steve Bruce. Here come Barcelona again, but Roy Keane gets in there. Well played by Keane. Now for Ince. Pallister. Hughes. Ince. Parker joining. Hughes. Barcelona with plenty back. Kanchelskis looking to get round Sergi. Does so. It's on with Hughes, and he let it go. Nicky Butt was in behind him. Well, that was a rash challenge there by Parker. Free kick.
Prior to the challenge, though, Brian, that's the best bit of football Man U have played in the half. Popped it about nicely, were patient waiting for their opening. Came off a little bit of a miss-hit ball from Kanchelskis. I was a bit surprised Sparky stepped over that.
Absolutely, I was looking for something explosive from him.
Very often you see him get those little swivel shots from that particular high inside right area, if you like. But that would be encouraging by the way they were able to pick off the Barcelona defence by just passing the ball about.
Ball from Koeman. What about that? 40 yards straight to Pereira. Amor. In goes Giggs. Here's Baquero. It falls for Hughes, and he muffed it a little bit. Can Butt get in there? He's challenging. He's got up, and he's got a free kick. And Butt's saying, "Why didn't you let me get on with it, ref?" I'm not sure in what language.
I'll tell you what, Brian, I think Abelardo is very fortunate to get a second booking here. There's, yeah, right, they jumped in. Watch him have a little hook at him here.
Yes,
I think
good shout, good shout.
And that would have been a sending off.
Good shout. Alistair. Hughes again. Alistair. Ince. This is better stuff from United. Parker. United have pulled everybody except Romario back. Kanchelskis. Little touch from Keane. Koeman's gone with him, so he's out of the middle. Here's Giggs. Can he find a little bit of magic to find a way around? He can, but it's a little too high for Hughes. As we come to the last couple of minutes or so of the first half.
Definitely the danger area for United. If they can work those little passes and get Keane and Kanchelskis and somebody else, even Mark Hughes, joining in the corner of the field behind the left side of the Barcelona defence, that's where they'll get the most chances from, the most opportunities to score.
It's going to be taken again.
I don't think it's a disaster, Brian, if they can keep it to 1-0 at half-time.
I was going to ask you what comfort you could give watching Manchester United fans at home for this moment.
For 30 minutes, they've hardly been able to get the ball. But the last 10 or 15 minutes, they've dropped their tempo, Barcelona, and United have just they've just started creeping in. And you know, there will be a time in a game when it's United's time, and providing they're not too far adrift in the game, they can always pull a one-goal back.
Free kick to Manchester United. It's hardly met with unanimous approval by the 120,000 here, although there are 7,000 Manchester United fans. Steve Bruce with the free kick. Now, can we get some joy just before half-time? Come for Hughes. Crowded out. Butt will try and keep it going. Finds Steve Bruce with it. Back to Nicky Butt again. A little bit of space ahead of him. Knocks it wide again to Roy Keane on that far side. In goes Parker. Barcelona get a throw.
You see, we played nearly all the first half, and there hasn't been one run from the back from either Irwin or Parker. Now, I think as the game develops, Brian, I think Alex Ferguson will be saying to his flank defenders, hey, start driving the game a little bit. At the moment, sit in and support. Don't give anything away needlessly. But if it needs the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if it's still the same scoreline as this, they can then afford to drive forward.
Pereira. Cut out well by Ince. But Stoichkov now with possession. Pereira galloping back, just kept it in play. Busquets. Oh, but that could have been a mistake by Busquets. Up goes Ince. Got away with it. Keane. Flipped the ball out beautifully there for Bruce. This is a good spell. John Atkinson absolutely right. The last 10 minutes or so, United have looked the more likely side without actually yet creating a real good clear opening. Nicky Butt going in there, but they're moving the ball much more sweetly now with a lot of confidence, but they still have to beware can the likes of Beccaro get hold of as he has now, and Romario's up front. Pereira the fullback. Koeman. A minute of time added on at the end of 45. Oh, Romario's over there. Parker spotted him. Romario again. It's another one. United defenders look at each other, and all eyes in this part of Spain are on Romario.
When Gary Pallister sees this long ball from Stoichkov, he will not believe he's allowed Romario to drift on the back of it. I mean, that was almost a carbon copy of the goal. Beccaro got it at Old Trafford. Look at this. This ball must travel nearly 60 yards through the air. Super ball, but they've got one player in the box. Watch how he pulls up the back of it. I mean, that's Gary's responsibility to have marked him. He's ball watched. Romario only needs one sort of look at the goal, and that is an absolute tragedy for United.
Meantime, the whistle's gone for half-time as we see again Romario driving it through Gary Walsh for that second goal at the most crucial moment in this game. Just when it looked as though Manchester United were coming back, they'd had the better of the previous 10 minutes or so without making a chance. Stoichkov having put Barcelona ahead after 9. Let's just have a quick word with Peter Schmeichel.
Well, Peter, we watched that together. I mean, that's a real disastrous goal, that one.
I mean, the last 5 minutes after half, we had some good possession there. I don't think we looked like scoring even at the last 5 minutes. But I mean, the last thing that happened is really, really terrible, and it's going to be very hard to come into the second half of that.
How did you take the news that you're going to be left out today?
Well, I don't like to be left out of the team, but we are in that situation. We've got too many foreign players, and no matter how much I like that, I'll have to accept that decision.
And we have to say none of those goals are down to goalkeeping either. Things are happening in front there.
No. I mean, you're up against a team here which is a really quality team. You see the passing they do, the finishing they have. They've just outplayed us.
But some quick hope for United, though. They look a bit dodgy in defence.
No, I thought they've done well in defence. I mean, still conceded 2 goals, but it's all about getting back now and get a goal, and then hopefully we get back into the game.
All right, Peter, well, thank you for those words. We're going to take a short break now. Then it's the views of Bob Wilson and Terry Venables. Thank you, Peter.
Here in Barcelona, Manchester United are 2-0 down against Barcelona. Let's hear what Alex Ferguson has to think about it.
Oh dear, that second goal, Alex. You're going to get back into this game?
Well, we're going to have to change a little, put Ryan Giggs through the middle and try and get a balanced midfield now, play 4 in the midfield. But we wouldn't have played, that's just simple. Bad goals to lose, mind you, but there you are. Okay.
Welcome back to the commentary box then. I've got Ron Atkinson alongside me, Brian Moore. We're looking just to see whether Manchester United can indeed pick this game up in the second half. You were saying to me at half-time, Ron, you felt Manchester United were defending too deeply.
Yeah, I think there's too much space behind. I know Terry's making the point about the little triangles they're playing in midfield and Romario dropping out. I think one of the ways English clubs can avoid that or make it less easy for them is to press up from the back a little bit and condense that space. Alex, as I said, he's put Giggsy through the middle. He's put Kanchelskis out on the left. And Nicky Butt looks as if he's just going to play an orthodox right-hand midfielder.
Here's Abelardo, up to Romario.
Now that's an example where Bruce has gone in and cleaned him out a little bit. He's got to be careful because I know he is a tricky player, but at the moment, or prior to that, he was giving them far too many problems because of the space he was getting Romario.
What a cruel game it is. That Romario goal, the second one, came 1 minute 57 seconds into time added on. Nearly 2 minutes of time added on. Beccaro having a jabbering challenge on Roy Keane there. Got away with it. Keane's got the ball too. But nobody down there. So felt that UEFA officials tried to persuade Manchester United at half-time to change their shorts to white because they felt that, certainly as far as television is concerned, in the distant shots, the strips were very much alike, but United obviously have declined. Now here's Giggs. Stopped by Koeman. Here's Butt. Well, that's a deliberate... Well, I can understand Butt's annoyance. Well, that was a deliberate obstruction there by Sergi, who's already on a yellow card, and a free kick for Manchester United. Nicky Butt incensed by that. Down goes Sergi, indirect free kick. Giggs and Butt behind it. Pallister up from defensive duties. Now, can United get back into the game now at this early stage of the second half? Butt runs over it. Giggs flights it in. Barcelona get it away. Dennis Irwin now. Played in for Roy Keane. And now for Kanchelskis. Ince. Goal kick. No, it's deflected off the defender. United get another corner. They will look for this man Ince to drive them on. Yes, you can see the deflection there of Guardiola.
These are important times. Ryan Giggs has got to produce a better quality than he did in the first half on these.
Giggs taking a short one this time, getting it back from Butt. The angle's different now, floated in, but it wasn't a good cross in. Kanchelskis couldn't kill that ball, and it was Sergi who got it away. And Stoichkov has got the better of him. Romario's in there too. And well, Stoichkov completely outstripped Dennis Irwin there. And Romario not at all pleased with the way his chum put that ball across the box there. You can see the look of disgust on the Brazilian's face as Stoichkov, left Irwin trailing in his wake here, whips the ball in across that area there, but beyond the reach of Romario, and United breathe again, but they're still 2 down, of course.
There's the problem there, Brian, of course. I think his touch as he goes to shape, it then takes him away from him and he has to readjust. That's the reason why he didn't play an easy facer ball. But what I find incredible is the way Stoichkov outstripped Dennis Irwin.
Absolutely.
I must admit, when I saw it going over the top, I thought, well, Irwin will clean that up.
Giggs, there's his touch. Abelardo gets it back to Busquets. Here's Bruce. He won't lack the heart and effort, Steve Bruce. Terrific application now, Manchester United. Holding firm, hope that they get an opportunity of getting back into this game and then drive in on that. But there's Koeman putting Romario away. Irwin's over on the far side. Knocks it back to Cruyff. Onto the left foot. Jordi Cruyff. Goal kick.
A lot of cat and mouse going on at the moment, isn't there? All of a sudden, like, Johan Cruyff has switched his 2 wide attackers. You've seen Stoichkov operate down the left-hand side this half. His son's gone out on the other side, out on the right wing. Once again, I wonder whether that's just tactics to keep Man U guessing, or whether he's seen Kanchelskis go out there and he feels that he can support the defence more, Jordi Cruyff, on the same side as Kanchelskis.
Here's Bruce. Keane. Alistair gets it forward. Hughes. It'll be another night when Mark Hughes is going to have bruises all down the back of his legs. Abelardo's been charging into him every time Mark Hughes gets possession. Bruce knocking it long towards Hughes in the air this time. Gets a little touch on it. Kanchelskis is in there. And it's wide of the Barcelona goal, but the signs are still there for Manchester United.
That's their best chance of the game. That was quite a good chance. I would have fancied Andrei Kanchelskis there, particularly coming in off the left on his right foot. There, I thought he was straighten Koeman up a little bit more, not too dissimilar to the way Romario did for the second goal.
Alistair to Hughes. Free kick to Manchester United. Giggs has made a little break over to what used to be an inside left position. Here he is. Alistair picked him up. Ince. Koeman's there, stabbing into Amor. Played for Guardiola. Swept wide here for Stoichkov. Romario's lurking too. Amor's coming into the box. There's the touch for Mario. Knocked back for Stoichkov. Left foot. It's another one. That was a brilliant piece of play by Barcelona. And Stoichkov's second goal of the game.
Yes, that's the problem. United were pushing upfield. Hadn't quite seen that the Barcelona star strikers were unmarked. But after that, what magnificent interplay here. Magnificent work between the two world strikers. Tremendous.
Here's Stoichkov, and he plays the little ball in now. Romario, what a lovely little touch by Romario. From all accounts, they are terrific friends off the field, and they play together superbly on it. No chance for Gary Walsh, and now you have to say no chance for Manchester United. Kanchelskis with a shot on the turn. And United 3 down. 2 to Stoichkov, 1 to Romario. Eric Cantona. Peter Schmeichel can only look and wonder what happens with the 2 games that remain. They go to Gothenburg in 3 weeks' time to Manchester United, and then at home to Galatasaray. And there are points that they desperately need from those games now.
And ironically enough, Brian, they just had a little warning just a minute or two earlier, hadn't they? When Stoichkov and Romario broke at them.
Stoichkov to Romario. Here's Gary Walsh. Well, they were only 8 minutes, Barcelona, from inflicting the first home defeat in Europe on Manchester United a fortnight ago. They clearly started favourites here tonight, and the favourites really are coming out on top.
I must say as well on the evidence of this that a much better side than I thought they were, you know.
Me too. Here's again. Owen. Kanchelskis. Owen again. Play on, no foul, no obstruction. Here's Koeman. I don't know if Barcelona were slow starters in Terry's time here, but of late they have been slow starters in the season. They lost, in fact, a couple of league games already this season, and they lost away to Gothenburg in the Champions League. But I must say they're driving into a good position now. But here's Kanchelskis. Giggs couldn't get on the end of that. Here's Baquero. Cruyff away on one side. Romario coming deep again. Bruce had gone with him that time. Here's Stoichkov, the Bulgarian. It's a beautiful ball this time to Amor. Driving in again. Romario tried to get Cruyff in, but again, United on that occasion stayed firm. And here's Paulins. Hughes. Dennis Irwin. Outside him is Kanchelskis. Paul Parker. And now Roy Keane. Nicky Butt just knocking it in. Hughes. Keane. And now Parker. Keane again. Parker again. Played in for Butt. Goal kick. Stoichkov second goal. That's the Stoichkov reaction. And Barcelona, with Romario and Stoichkov, have just about destroyed Manchester United here in the Nou Camp in front of 120,000 fans. Maybe they haven't finished yet. Owen gets in, gets it away. Maybe United haven't finished yet. Giggs is after this one. Busquets gets out quickly. Stoichkov. And the top two go forward in this league. Gothenburg playing in Istanbul tonight. Goal difference, goal average will play an important part. So United have conceded 3 tonight, which is a terrible blow for them and good news for Barcelona. Here's Cruyff. Okay.
Well, it's a very much a catch-22 situation for Man U. Unfortunately, they'd like to chase the game, they'd like to drive off, but every time they drive forward, they just get picked off at the back by a team that control and passing and movement with superb midfield players, and of course 2 of the great strikers in the world that they can just play it up to, and have certainly done. I mean, I thought the 2 strikers at Manchester at Old Trafford were disappointed, but tonight they've been absolutely world-class, the pair of them.
Amor gets it back to Busquets. Knocks it out to little Albert Ferrer. Amor. Kanchelskis. Just a little casual maybe there, Barcelona. Can they be made to pay for that? Roy Keane. But his shot, well, it was in more danger to the corner flag than it was to Carlos Busquets. Place is really buzzing here. It is a terrific stadium built. What a sight that is. In 1957, actually the capacity has been increased to 120,000. And you know how they did that? They did it in fact by burrowing down. They pushed the pitch down by some 5 yards, so it's well below street level in order to get more seats in. Knocking it in. Butt is in there. Can he find something? His boots were high on Ronald Koeman, but it was all accidental. The referee allowed the game to go on. Sergi playing it up to Romario, nodded down by him. To Baquero. Guardiola getting involved. Giggs getting involved. Keane getting involved. But Sergi, who had a really torrid time against Kanchelskis, I remember in the game at Old Trafford. Number 11. Getting it back again from Stoichkov.
I must admit that was one of the duels I was looking forward to before the match, was the Kanchelskis-Sergi duel, because I thought, as you say, he absolutely buried him at Old Trafford. And I thought that was one of United's best chances of maybe carrying the fight. They weren't able to give him the ball in the first half, Brian, were they? They weren't able to give Kanchelskis a good supply of the ball. Basically because Barcelona had it most of the game.
Parker with the throw for Manchester United. It's Hughes. It's just one continual barrage of noise here now in Barcelona. With their team 3 up. But United coming back now. And they get a free kick for the foul on Nicky Butt. Giggs behind this. Irwin, of course, thrashes in a pretty useful free kick himself. Mr. Canu, the French referee, getting the Barcelona wall back. Another couple of yards, he says. They're reluctant to move, as they always are. Ryan Giggs will have a crack at this one. How United needed to be successful. Ryan Giggs, They're driven straight into that Barcelona wall. He claims a handball. The referee quite unimpressed. Kanchelskis to Butt. To Parker. Straight to Sergi. Baquero. Cruyff on this side of the field. The sliding challenge of Nicky Butt. Here's Roy Keane. Parker. And now Ince. Too high for Hughes. Just under half an hour to go still. Here's Keane. Kanchelskis over on the left-hand side. Goal kick. And with Milan having their troubles this season, on this form, you'd have to say Barcelona, I think, are going to be most people's favourites for this European Cup this year.
Certainly on the evidence of tonight, Brian, I mean, they have looked a magnificent side. And we must remember they've got Nadal to come back in as well, who gives them something else in defence.
Ivan's coming on. And Jordi Cruyff is coming off. Cruyff's young son certainly has played his part, not least with that wonderful ball through for the opening goal. Years old. Ferrer, Guardiola. Stoichkov against Parker. No foul. United's throw. Stoichkov down. Will the referee say, as they did in the World Cup, do you want treatment or do you go on? No, in fact, Kinu, the referee, is saying, bring the stretcher on. I don't want the trainers on. I want the stretcher on. Well, I hope Stoichkov is okay. It's been a good night for him so far. 2 goals. Stretcher's on.
Got a blinder, hasn't he? And basically operated in very, very wide positions. That's really so unusual for a top striker. He operates in very wide situations, not as a winger, but as a wide striker that cuts in. And, well, first half, not only a scorer, a maker as well, with the long ball for Romario's goal.
He goes away. His tally this season is 7. 3 of them in the Champions League, and he's gone past his 100 for Barcelona. So at the moment, Barcelona 3-0 up, but down to 10.
Third goal's taken a lot of sting out of the game, hasn't it? At 2-0, you always felt if Man U could just nick it back to 2-1, then there's a fighting situation. At the moment, you just get the feeling there's a lot of heads starting to drop.
Stoichkov is back and ready.
There's a shock, isn't it?
Owen to Hughes.
His head won't drop, by the way.
Hughes won't.
Sparky Hughes, his head won't drop. He'll battle to the last.
Guardiola. In all this excitement, I haven't found time really to commiserate with you on last night, your performance at Villa Park. And really, it's been a bad couple of days for the game, hasn't it? With Newcastle losing as well. Tough on Kevin and his lads. And United looks as though they're going to go down here as well.
We only had ourselves to blame, Brian. We had enough chances to have won 5 matches, and then we're going to give a silly goal away at the end of the game.
Higgs puts it in. Sorry.
Well, not a silly goal, but perhaps a lapse of concentration after, we'd worked so hard and so well to get into the pole position.
I think Newcastle United to be kicking themselves as well, having gone 3-0 up as they did at the first game at St James's Park. I think they will feel that theirs is very much a self-inflicted wound.
That's interesting, wasn't it, when you saw the Bilbao side come back, claw the 2 goals back. You just begin to wonder, don't you, a game that should have been over.
Well, let's hope United can do that here in the new camp tonight.
And the ironic thing is all the teams in the UEFA Cup have gone out on the away goal rule.
Here's Roy Keane. It's to Parker. Giggs.
I mean, I don't know where he'd have played him, but I'd have loved to have seen this contest with Cantona in the United lineup. And I don't know who he'd have had to have stood down for it. It's a problem, but...
Parker. No, that is a real problem next time round in, 3 weeks' time in Gothenburg, when Eric is then available. Just who does he leave out? Does he leave out Schmeichel again?
I think a lot will depend on the situation. I think a lot will depend on what's happened in the other game today, and whether a draw might be sufficient, or whether he's got to go and get the maximum points there. Because I think if he's got to go, and a draw is a good result for him there, I think it's a safe bet he'll keep his strongest defensive side.
Here's Bruce. And now Keane. Giggs. I'm not quite sure of this Giggs role at the moment, are you?
No, he's playing, they've given him a little loose position to try and get round by Sparky, round by Mark Hughes' area, and pick the ball up and run at the heart of the defence. To be fair to him, he actually played against us last season in that position and played brilliant.
Well, Sergi went diving in. He obstructed Butt in the first place, dived in the second, and Sergi, let me tell you, is on a yellow card already. Well, when you see that again, you say he's lucky not to have got another one. Hughes, knocking it back to Irwin. Kanchelskis. Keane playing it now for Bruce. Irwin being pushed back now. They're certainly not making any progress.
You see, with the league situation as well, which is different to the knockout one, it makes you wonder whether United may say in their own mind, hang on a bit, whatever we do, we mustn't concede again. If we can pick up a goal, fine. It's going to be a miracle if we can claw something back in as regards points. If we can pick up a goal, fine, but let's make sure it doesn't get to an absolute disaster of 4 or 5 or something like that, which is always the danger if you do overstretch.
Abelardo getting it back to his goalkeeper, the 27-year-old Busquets. In goes Bruce. Kanchelskis is getting it back to Irwin. Giggs over there being policed by Ronald Koeman. Back to Busquets. Alistair. Parker. Stoichkov challenging him. Parker gets it back. There's no room for error for Walsh. Didn't look entirely happy there. Some goalkeepers are with this new rule, some aren't, and Walsh was struggling just for a moment there.
Left-footed keeper, Brian, and I think Paul Parker should have realised that. I mean, he didn't give him too much consideration when he played against him.
Milan 1, Athens 1. Milan in desperate need of points. Remember, they had 2 dots for an incident in the game against Salzburg. The bottle hits the Salzburg goalkeeper. Stoichkov with the corner for Barcelona. Ince cuts it out well. Driving on. In goes Hughes. Driving on, but he's conceded the free kick. And already Koeman is stepping forward. What's that for, ref?
Yeah, I think Paul hooked him with a little bit of frustration. I think Guardiola had a little chop at him, but I think Paul's had a second hook at him.
Challenge comes
That's the
in
one there
here.
now, you see. In actual fact, I do think Ince was fouled first.
But here's Koeman now. Barcelona 3-0 up. 20 minutes or so to go. It's amazing. Walsh was worried. The man's reputation is such that even what looks to be quite a simple ball to handle, his reputation Koeman's got. Here's the corner driven in again, knocked away by Bruce. Pereira. Vaquero. Here's Sergi. Romario tried a turn there, but he was denied then by the dual strengths of Alistair and Bruce. Parker plays it forward to Kanchelskis. Derwin. Giggs away on the left flank now. Keane switching it to Ince. Keane again. Good spot there by Keane, finding Parker. Giggs again. Finding Butt. Bruce. Owen. And Kelskis. Looking to get past Ivan, the substitute.
They're happy to force him across field, though, aren't they? On his right foot. I'd like to see him spend the last part of the game out on this front.
Vaquero finds Stoichkov. Romario just pulling away from his man Stoichkov. He flicked that with the outside of the boot. What flick? He walloped it at. Romario almost getting it through there again, but United closed the door on that occasion. I must say, if you're not playing against them, Stoichkov and Romario are an absolute joy to watch. Ince. Keane, no. Koeman's challenge. Romario! He's up there on his own, surrounded by three, still with Romario! And knocked away by Owen. Ivan now might try a shot himself, goal kick. Just for a moment, it looked odds on a second Romario goal and a fourth for Barcelona.
As a defender, Brian, you can't stop concentrating. When Ronald Koeman toe-poked the ball through, Romario stood completely on his own. Just prior to that, this was actually. Here you see him really panic, don't you, Romario? Sunday afternoon job, isn't it, for him? Hasn't quite got enough on the ball.
Guardiola. Now look at Stoichkov, but the flag is up. A marginal decision. Barcelona fans all together in accord with the French line.
Great decision for Man U, that, because Stoichkov was just bearing down on him again, and his mate was up front with him.
Bruce. And now Giggs. Will it come for Ince? It might come for Ince. What's he going to give? He's given a free kick to Barcelona. Ince is furious about that. Ince felt that he'd done enough there to get a penalty for Manchester United, but Mr. Canoe is saying, I don't like that dissent. Into the book goes Paul Ince. The yellow card. Ron, your view?
Ince was in a great situation after he played the 1-2, running in. There was a little bit of grappling from Ince as well, it has to be said. He's trying to lean his body strength about him. But Sergi definitely has a little pull right at the end of him, and I actually have to think that the referee's just about right on that. I mean, my first reaction was that is a cert penalty. But I think Ince was perhaps leaning his body weight towards Sergi.
Yellow card for Parker.
This is discipline time, Brian, isn't it? Okay,
well,
if they can't save this one, fine, but they've got a number of other games to play. And, you know, the last thing they want to do is be without key players. When they've just had 2 English players booked as well.
Bruce unhappy about something with the referee, and substitute coming on. Parker unhappy. Sanchez Yara coming on. It's a free kick for Manchester United. It's little Vaquero coming off. He's had a terrific game. and the crowd are rising to him. They know that he's been one of the main architects of this excellent Barcelona performance. Bruce with the free kick. Mario. Here's Bruce. I think Manchester United will shortly make a substitution. We shall see it in a moment. I think Giggs might well be the one that comes off. And I think Paul Scholes, the little striker, might come on. In the meantime, Sanchez Yara, the substitute, making the break again towards Romario, and Bruce, just as he did actually, in almost an identical position in the last stages of the game at Old Trafford, just got in as Romario was poised to score for Barcelona. Good work by Steve Bruce. A corner then for Barcelona, which Stoichkos will take. Romario's waiting, and so is Walsh. Guardiola. Stoichkos. That goes off Roy Keane for a Barcelona corner with about 12 minutes of the game left now. There's the 19-year-old Salford boy, Paul Scholes, youth international. He may have learned a thing or two from Romario tonight. Here's the corner. Sergi. Koeman. Amor. Ferrer. Amor again. Stoichkos. Parker didn't get that one. Over the head of Paul Parker.
Yeah, brilliant sequence of passes. Started by the blonde man at the back, Ronald Koeman. Almost finished by this fella. And see, that's a good tactic. He's managed to get himself against Parker. You know, he would fancy his chance of Stoichkos in the air on a crossfield ball against Paul Parker.
Giggs coming off. Scholes is a striker. He'll push up alongside Mark Hughes. Amor. Amor again. Guardiola. Playing it around with such ease.
You know, most of it emanates from this man, you know. I think he said...
Koeman. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that's the worst ball he's played in the game as it happens.
Apart from a World Cup winners' medal, you name it, and Ronald Koeman's won it. Scholes. He's got a good cross in here. Let's see what Busquets does here. He flapped at that one.
First real cross he's had to deal with, isn't it, as well? When at Old Trafford he was looking at very
Oh, here's Butt. It might be in here. No, the pass was just played behind both Kanchelskis and Hughes, and Barcelona come away again. Sanchez Yara to Romario. Sanchez Yara. Ferrer. Sanchez Yara. Playing it for Sergi. Guardiola. Koeman.
I think Man United, and I should think Alex Ferguson himself be the first to admit it hasn't been his best performance, their best performance of the season, but you can't detract from the way they've played. Barcelona, I think, have given a great exhibition of passing and movement.
Ince. To Bruce. To Butt. Being tracked there by Sergi. Again, Sergi. Well, it's all very well for the referee to punish Nicky Butt, but all the time, Dawn, you're going to say all the time, it seems to me that Sergi is playing obstruction and preventing Butt getting anywhere near the ball.
Yeah, I think if that was in the Premier League, that would be a free kick towards Nicky Butt. Now watch how he takes his space. He's definitely getting his body across him, and Nicky Butt's got no alternative really but to have a grapple with him. But that's, the Continentals do have that with it. They're more inclined to forgive that, blocking off runs and taking other people's space on runs, rather than they are, say, a full-blooded challenge. I mean, Sergi with his mentality won't think that he's done anything really wrong there. It's like the old Italians, you know, when they used to stand in the path of a flying wing, they block up, put their hands behind the back and say sorry, you know, that was an accepted thing.
Scholes with a throw. Kicking in Bruce. Scholes again. The ball bounced nicely for him there. It's not a bad crosser, and he's got a cross in there, but this time Busquets. Just repeating what I said a couple of minutes back, it really has been a disappointing week for English football, and here's Romario. Romario! Oh, right at the end. United kept him out. The crowd were on their feet, ready to celebrate.
That was a
Little man all balanced there, gets past one challenge, flies past another one, and in the end is crowded out. At the other end, though, Ince making the break for Manchester United. And now picking up Butt, who's playing down this right flank. And he's gone past Sergi. No obstruction this time. A long one towards Scholes. And a corner for Manchester United. United. Flung out wide there by Kanchelskis. Alistair gets there. Can Bruce turn on it? No, because he was stopped by a Barcelona defender. Here's Stoichkov. Parker held him up that time. Sanchez Yara tangling with Butts. This time United get a free kick. Hughes. Mark Hughes. 6 minutes left of what has been a staggering Barcelona performance here. Kanchelskis. Here's Ince. Parker, this is better for United, but the flag is up for an offside. Let's have a quick word with Terry Venables again. Terry, Ron was saying that you can't detract from the fact that it has been a superb Barcelona performance tonight.
There's no doubt about it whatsoever. As sad as it is tonight, and let's hope that Manchester United learn a lot from tonight. They've got 2 more games. It's still not all lost, but I would like to mention that piece of work from Romario. I thought that was absolutely spectacular. And if he'd have scored then, I think that would have been the goal of the season.
Thanks a lot, Terry.
Just wondering how Terry likes his little bit of chest control to start the move.
Well, absolutely. The chest control was wonderful, but he wasn't satisfied with that. He spun away and he was off like a rabbit. I mean, it was wonderful.
Tell, do you think at the end of the move, do you think he was showboating a little bit? I thought he had a good chance to score and then tried to beat the
I think you may be right, Ron.
He was what, showboating?
Yes, a little bit of show. Wanted goal of the month, or goal of the season, if you like.
Well, there's the man, number 10, Romario. So he's hobbling a little bit there, the Brazilian.
He hobbles quicker than anybody I've ever seen.
You put the ball at his feet and see how much of a hobble there is. Ince gets it back to Bruce. Here's Guardiola. Kanchelskis. Alistair. Kanchelskis. Certainly Manchester United then will look to get a point in Gothenburg at least. They will certainly look to beat Galatasaray at Old Trafford. 3 points out of 4 could well be enough to see them into the quarter-finals, depending on other results, of course. They have to concede second best here tonight without any doubt at all. Here's Amor. Romario. Well, he really is in a bad way at the moment, Romario. He had an injury. He came back, as I told you a couple of weeks ago, he came back late to training here, and then when they put him straight into the side with a minimum of pre-season training after the World Cup, maybe he didn't need that much, but he had some hamstring problems. And at the moment he certainly seems to be struggling again.
This really is unbelievable the way they're passing it, and that is so frustrating for Man U, because they know really that they've got to keep trying to get the ball back. Yet, even the goalkeeper's joining in with his passing.
Don't forget, later on tonight there's a highlights program of European Champions League, with highlights of Milan's match, also one in Istanbul that is so important, Galatasaray against Gothenburg. Paris Saint-Germain. Stopped in the first. It's sent back. Another goal. Ferrer has made it 4. It's a bad night for Alex Ferguson. It's a bad night for Manchester United. But for the people of Barcelona, it's one of high jubilation as they go 4-0 up. Picture tells it all. They have a job to do.
Dreadful lack of concentration there from Andriy Kanchelskis. Not too sure whether Ferrer hadn't just gone offside, you know, on that first run. But there he is. Tries to face it. Fortunate to get the comeback, but I mean, there's no mistake in the second whack. And I mean, people will look at it, 4 goals conceded, if you like, not quite a rookie goal, Ian, but I have to say, Brian, I don't think you put any attach any blame at all to Gary Wilson tonight.
Absolutely. Crowd are loving this now.
Just wondering, sat just along from us, you know, Johnny Giles, remember that? Was it against Southampton when Leeds put about 30 passes together? But I mean,
right.
I've not seen anything like this in a major match for years, considering the quality of the opposition.
And considering what a stuttering start they made to this campaign, they scraped through here against Galatasaray by a single goal. They lost in Gothenburg. And then they began to get the feel of things. They got that excellent draw in Old Trafford. And now here, my goodness, 4-0 and worth every moment of it. Parker plays it in. Hughes still battling on there. There's his shot. It's a goal kick. And really, you have to say, in all this time, United haven't made what you would call a real big, clear opening.
No, that one there, possibly, not a clear opening. That's a workforce situation. The one Kanchelskis blasted off his right side, but exactly right. And I mean, I must say, I thought United might have ripped this defence. And I'll tell you something else. Mark Hughes, in a league game, backs into player, receives it, good turn. He hits the back of the net in the majority of league games he does. It's just been a very, very bad night for United and a great night for Barcelona.
Here's Ince.
Because what we've got to remember, Brian, is United, okay, no Cantona, no Schmeichel, sharp missing, but are still, for me, the best team in the Premier Division.
Hate to be the bearer of bad tidings, Old Trafford fans, but Gothenburg are leading against Galatasaray 1-0. That's bad news for United, and it's bad news here. They've been beaten 4-0 by Barcelona. Stoichkov with 2 of them, Romario, who's been absolutely brilliant, with another one, and Ferrer finishing it all off. It leaves Manchester United back in 3rd place in their group, and it leaves them with 2 matches to play in Gothenburg and at home to Galatasaray. And my goodness, they're going to have to do some work now to qualify for those quarter-finals of the European Champions League.